What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends. Got kind of a cool video today. We're going to be talking about campaign farming, specifically stage 12.3 of the Brutal campaign. It's a very common stage that you will be farming later on in the game, and most players will eventually build what you will call a campaign farmer in order to farm this stage efficiently and effectively. There's a lot of different options that you can use for this, and I wanted to talk about one today that I really enjoy using just because he is an uncommon champion, and that would be the Lizardman Saurus. You can see here we are doing stage 12.3 on Brutal, just farming up some food right now. We do have the XP boost from the raid pass going here, which gives us auto battles as well, but you can see here 8 seconds usually on average. We have been able to do a 6-second run on him. It just kind of depends on whether or not he one-shots the final wave, which you can see here. He comes out, AoE one-shots first round. He's going to get 2 attacks. Actually, he just one-shots that wave too. And then here, if he cannot take... Okay, there we go. So there is the 7-second run. We got it, like I said, down to 6 before with him as well. I'm trying to see if he'll do it on video, of course. Usually it won't work when you want it to. But at worst, he's going to two-shot these waves based on the gear that I have on him and the speed that he's at. He's fast enough to basically take 2 turns before the enemy team. But you can see how quickly we are actually able to now farm this stage and actually level up these champions. That is if the game wants to cooperate here and let us keep playing. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Alright, so guys, we are back. Raid had a little bit of a hiccup there, so we had to kind of wait for the game just to come back to be able to play. But unfortunately, it looks like he's not going to do the 6-second run here on the video, but I just did kind of want to show off this champion doing the very quick run on 12.3. Let's actually go in and we'll take a look at his statistics and his gear, and we may switch things around a little bit to see if we can get him to farm this a little bit faster. So here he is, Saurus. Again, he is a Lizardman Spirit Attack Champion. You can see here with the stats we have on him, 3490 attack. This actually could be a lot higher. I think if I had this a little bit higher, he'd be able to go through this a little bit more quickly. We do unfortunately not have 100% crit rate, 218% crit damage, and he is at 213 speed. In order to take 2 turns before the enemies on 12.3, you need to be at like 203 or higher. You see his base speed is 83, so it's a little tough to get there. It's tough to build him with the speed and also get the crit rate and everything else, which is why he doesn't hit hard enough really right now to do 6 seconds consistently. But really that's the only stats you're looking for: speed, attack, crit rate, crit damage. We're just building him to farm in the campaign. He's very easy to book because he's an uncommon champion. You can just pull him from mystery shards. You can see here we actually do have all of his skills fully completed, so everything is upgraded. You can see here he takes 4 books on his A1 and 3 on his A2. So pretty cool champion just to be able to use for this, and the main reason I did this is because I have been using Skull Crown to farm 12.3. I used Biggin for a little while as well, but I'm at the point where I'm trying to finish Night Revenant Faction Wars and also Oregon Tribes Faction Wars, and I need to take both of those champions out of their current gear since they are AoE attack champions and put them into a stun set to help me with the waves in Faction Wars. So that meant I was going to kind of be without a campaign farmer. And you know, to be honest, you don't really have to build a campaign farmer. Your starter champion will work just as well. Let's see if we can find our lady Elaine here. She's somewhere here. So this is my Elaine that I have, and she's able to farm 12.3, I want to say in like 10 seconds, which is fine in the gear that she's in here. And just to show her stats, kind of, she's at 4100 attack, so a lot higher attack. You've got 100% crit rate, 153 crit damage. But we do have her in one cruel set here, and that's kind of what's unfortunate about Saurus, is we were not able to get him into a cruel set or a savage set. I don't really have that great of savage gear on this account. Unfortunately, Fire Knight has not been very kind to me when I go in and farm, so we were not able to get him into any like ignore defense type of gear here. We've basically just got a divine speed weapon and a shield. We have just this random set of stalwart boots that had crit rate on it we were able to use. We've got an attack chest with crit rate and crit damage and speed. Crit damage gloves with a little bit, we had a double crit rate roll there, which is why we used those, trying to get him to that 100%. Unfortunately, we did not reach it. And then we have a pretty good speed roll on this helmet. We're trying to get him to that speed he needed to be at. We do have, unfortunately, a 5-star attack ring, and again, that's why like the gear is not that good, but he's still able to farm this stage very quickly. Unlike needing like the really crazy gear requirements you need to build a Fellhound, this kind of was an easier option for me. You see there, we did get a really good speed roll on the banner. That's why we're using resistance. Normally, I'd like to have this attack so he could hit a little bit harder. But that just kind of gives you a look at the gear we're using on him. And then you can also see the masteries. We did go with Helm Smasher. I did try it with the 20% crit damage mastery, and it didn't really seem to make much of a difference either way. I was stuck at like 8 seconds using that mastery. When I switched to Helm Smasher, if I do get this proc, that's when I can get the 6 and 7 second runs. So that's kind of why I went with that. But you can kind of take a look at the masteries here. We've got the cooldown reset here to hopefully reset his A2, because that's the one ability he can one-shot for sure with. So if he can reset that and get that back by the 3rd wave, that's when he can kind of get that faster time in. But that's like I was saying, unfortunately, you know, not enough Savage gear or cool. I do have some Savage pieces I was trying to put on him earlier, but unfortunately it didn't give him enough crit rate. But you know what, just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and gear him into a Savage set, and we're going to see if it makes any difference at all. So we will be right back. Alright guys, I did a little bit of tinkering, and I was able to actually find a set of Savage gear that I'm going to see if it's going to work. Unfortunately, we are going to have to take 3 of the pieces off of other champions, so this is going to cost us quite a bit of silver. You can see there's 650,000 to equip this build. Unfortunately, that I'm going to have to go in and swap it back to my cold hearts whenever I'm done with this, but we're going to see if it's going to work. We know that we already have a build that's capable of doing 6 seconds with the other gear, but I just want to see if the Savage gear is going to make any difference on him. Unfortunately, we were not able to hit anywhere near 100% crit rate, so we're 89. We're going to be at the kind of the mercy of RNG with there. We did get a little bit more crit damage. Speed is dropped a little bit, but able to keep it above that 203 number, so he's still going to be able to go twice. His attack did come down a little bit, but we're hoping that that defense ignore from the Savage gear is going to make up for that. So let's go ahead and spend the silver here and outfit him in his new gear. Now, unfortunately, I did have 2 sets of 6-star speed brutes in Savage, neither of which had crit rate on them, and I tried to roll these up from 12 to 16, and it cost me almost 3 million silver to just go there. So this has been a very expensive re-gear, so I hope this works, and I hope this yields something a little bit better than what we had before. But we're just gonna go right back into 12.3. Says we'd have no aura skill. We know that. Let's just see what happens here. We'll see what kind of a difference the Savage gear set does make. Okay, we're still able to one-shot the first wave. Second shot, second wave, 1 shot. And okay, we did not get the crit hit there, so we did not one-shot the last wave. So you can see there 8 seconds. So we're still pretty much right where we started, even with the Savage gear. So it's kind of like, you know, 1 and 2 half dozen of the other. So there we go again. We actually are not even going to be able to to hit that wave. So the Savage gear did not work out. You can see here that without having that almost 100% crit rate, we are just not able to completely go through and take out these waves. So that's unfortunate. So we're going to have to just switch back to the other gear set and see how that works. And you see there we just missed the 1 shot on Kaimar, or Lord Shazar there. So it's basically right where we were before. We're actually doing worse with the Savage gear. And again, like I said, I do not have good Savage gear on this account. I had to pull pieces off of other champions like that I had mixed and matched with. And honestly, with all the Fire Knight farming I've done, I just do not have a good set, which is crazy to me. It just takes forever to get good gear in this game. So, but we'll switch him back into his other gear, which actually was allowing us to do this in 6 to 7 seconds very consistently. And we'll go back and switch him out after the video. And just, it's nice to have a farmer though, an uncommon champion that you can just use in this area. You don't have to worry about taking one of your better champions like Skullcrown or Biggin and putting them in gear specifically just to do this. Now we have a 60 Saurus, we can just put him back in the gear he was in before. We can stick him in the vault, and then we just use him for campaign farming. Being able to farm this stage in 6 to 8 seconds now is going to help us out a lot in these events. You can see just in this short video here, we actually farmed all of these food champions up to level 20. It's a lot more efficient to be able to go this fast. Though, as I said before, this is something you probably don't want to really try to do until you're like mid-game or getting toward a late game, because you don't really need to be investing resources in a campaign farmer, because your main starter champion, whoever, Kale, your Elaine, your Ethel, even Galek, they can all farm the campaign in around 10 seconds once you get some decent gear on them. So this is not something that's a priority, but it's something that's kind of fun to have once you get your account to a pretty decent level. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Spent a bunch of silver on this video, so we're gonna have to go farm that back up, put Saurus back in his other gear that he was in at the start of the video, and get him back to where he can consistently do 6 to 8 seconds, get his crit rate back up. And it's just something we'll work on over the span of playing the game, is trying to get him some better gear, get him up to 100% crit rate, and get his crit damage a little bit higher to make sure we can just go through and one-shot all this. I think we can get this down to 5 seconds maybe if we get some better gear on him, and we'll see how that goes. But this is kind of like the content I want to start making, just kind of fun stuff like this. I've got a lot of stuff planned around with uncommon champions, because there are quite a few in this game that are actually very good that people overlook. Hopefully this weekend, I'm waiting for the faction war to open. I will have a video coming about one of my favorite uncommons who actually did help me fully complete one of the faction wars, one of the harder faction wars. He's kind of an unsung hero. I don't want to ruin who and spoil it right now, but I was really surprised at how effective he was in basically shutting down the 21 boss for the specific faction. So hopefully I'll be able to put together a video on him later this weekend, early next week, and just do some fun stuff with some of these uncommon champions. So as always, guys, if you have any questions about anything in the video, feel free to leave it down below. I'll do my best to get you an answer as soon as I can. As always, I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.